Okay, so I went to go see BTS this weekend, and the only way that I can describe it is OMG. Like, to the max times 10 to the nth degree of amazingness. Like, it was a lot. It was so much. Um, so I just wanted to like talk about the highlights and talk about it for me, um, mostly because like it was an experience. Yeah. So I have my tickets. I like all summer I prepped and I planned in my mind of what do I need to bring, and I think in some ways I over prepared and in other ways I under prepared. Um, Packed a kit. I think my kit consisted of obviously the tickets. Um, I got the chair. I decided to get a camping chair and I like ordered it online, but I wanted it to be small, so that I could like take it with me and maybe take it into the venue with me. Um, that was a mistake. I think it's either like you have to either get a big chair and just like realize that you have to have somebody else take it from you, or you have to like abandon it, which I know some people did. And actually, I did abandon my chair, and I feel bad about that because I do not believe in wasting things. Um, but it just became way too bulky, and I couldn't walk around with it anymore. I actually didn't even bring the chair to the show. I realized that morning, I was like, no, I just can't do this. Like, I'm just going to sit on the ground, which I did. And um, it was okay. Like, I'm not going to lie. My body hurts a lot. Like, my legs really hurt. I think that maybe even, like, I sprained my leg muscle. Like, it really hurts. And then my feet, I already have, like, foot issues. So, obviously, like, standing and sitting and jumping all day is already going to aggravate your body. And then I also have my own issues. So yeah, at the end of the day, I was in a lot of pain. I think honestly, the best thing that I did is that I woke up at 3 in the morning. Took me a little bit longer to actually like get up out of my bed, but I ended up going to Walgreens. Like I walked 15 minutes in the dark in the middle of the night to the Walgreens that was open, and I got water, one of those like waters with electrolytes and stuff like that in it, and then I got an energy drink, um, or like a protein drink for breakfast, and then I got some Cliff Bars and just like little snacks and stuff, and I think like that was the way to go. I didn't pack like a million snacks. Like some people that I was with, they had like really big bags of food. And I just kind of was like, this is enough. I mean, it's not going to completely fill me up, but it was enough for what I needed until lunchtime. And then I, went and got something to eat around the venue. So I think that was a good choice. It was like enough, not too much. And I was able to stay hydrated because I had 3 drinks. And then I got more drinks in the afternoon, to keep me hydrated. So this was the schedule. Woke up at 3. Probably actually got out of bed at like 3:30. And then like got ready. I like took a shower the night before so that I could just throw on my outfit, like barely put on some makeup, um, and then left. Walked over to the Walgreens, got my snacks, and then I called a Lyft. So I stayed in an Airbnb about 15 minutes away from the venue, in Newark, New Jersey. So I called a Lyft and took about 15 minutes, and it actually like was not that expensive. Is probably like, I mean, I guess it was about like 15. I think one time it was $12, and another time it was like $18. But I just kind of like put that all into my trip expenses, and it was totally worth it. Like, really easy, safe. The neighborhood that I stayed in was really safe. The room was like really great. So it was like tiny, but it was all I needed, just like sleep. So got to the venue like right at 4:30. And when I got there, there were, tents everywhere. The line went from the entrance and then all the way down that side of the venue and then all the way down the next side of the venue. And I think that was as far as it went at that point at 4:30 a.m. So I got really lucky and I met this girl on the bus. I took the bus from where I am to Newark, and the girl that I sat next to, super nice, offered me a Twix, and then we're like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And of course, we were both going to the concert. So then, you just like start talking about who's your bias and blah, 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 and how excited you are. And that was really fun. I think that's one of my favorite things about, well, I have a lot of favorite things about being in Army, obviously. The boys are probably my favorite thing, but I really like meeting new people. That's been like a really awesome aspect of being in Army and being a part of this like global community. Is you just like you meet people all over the place and you really connect with people. So that's pretty awesome. I had 2 other friends that I was planning to meet up with, but they ended up not getting there till really late. So I exchanged numbers with this girl on the bus, and I was like, hey, can I come wait with you in line if that's cool? And she was like, yeah. So I called her 4:30, found where she was in line, and met a whole bunch of new people. And I thought that they were all friends, but then it just turns out they had all met each other in line. So that was really nice to just like meet new people from all over the place, all over the country. Some were from Ohio, some were from New York State, some were from Pennsylvania, just like all over. Like we were all at different ages. I mean, I was the oldest. Well, not the oldest Army though that I met. Out of our group, I was the oldest, but like I met some Armies who were like in their 50s, and they were really cool. Honestly, I was like, that is me. That is me in several years, but I will be hardcore. So I met up with them, and somebody like gave us a tent, which was super nice because it was pretty cold. Like it was nice. It was like probably around like 55 or 60 degrees. Just like during the day it was like 75, but it was the nighttime, so it was fairly cold. And when you're just sitting on the concrete, like then it gets even colder, and there was a slight breeze. So there definitely was a part where it got to be pretty chilly, but like sitting in the tent, it was fine. But it was a pretty small tent, and there were like 8 of us, so we kind of took turns. So I sat in the tent for a while, and then like my feet just started like losing all of their blood. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get out of the tent. And then a few of us just like literally laid down on the ground and had like a scarf as a blanket, and we huddled together. It united us. It definitely bonded us together. So at that point, it was hard to sleep because you're on the sidewalk, and then it's really cold, and also just like the adrenaline, like I could hardly get to sleep the night before, and then I was just like, you couldn't really sleep because you're in all these circumstances, and then you're also just like so excited because you're going to see them for the first time. So there was a lot of like jitteriness happening. So then about like 6 o'clock, the sun started to rise. And the other girls kind of would like go take a walk, go grab a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. I mostly just like stayed there until I think it was about 7:30 that we all went. Like some people stayed in the line, and then we went in to the bathroom, which was like the number one reason to like find armies and to like group together. Anyways, took a bathroom break around 7:30, and then at 8 o'clock they make everyone take the tents down, and just like to consolidate the line. So we put the tent away, and then it was 2 more hours until they were going to hand out the wristbands. Once the tents got put away, the line really like shrunk up. That was maybe a point where people cut the most. Because we were around the corner, we couldn't see what was going on at the front of the line. So once the tents got consolidated and the line started scooting up, we didn't realize until like I saw people. I was like, what are they doing? And then I was like, people are running. So like we all hopped up and we got all of our stuff and we started running because it just like it all affects like where you're standing in line, and that affects where you're going to stand in the venue. For the most part, I mean, there's a lot of moving around in the venue, to be honest. I was kind of surprised by that. But, so we ended up, like, moving up quite a bit, and by the time the line got consolidated, we were basically just barely around the corner of the first wall. So, we had 2 more hours, and that was when it kind of got fun, because it wasn't cold anymore. The sun was there, but we were lucky that it wasn't like terribly hot. By that point, it's like we were already kind of like tired / punch drunk / just like so excited. And that's where when people started to like turn on music and turn on, you know, the BTS albums, and people started to dance. And that was really cool. I actually like, as I was standing there, I was like, oh, I guess I didn't really ever think about doing that. Like, I could be more dedicated. And, I mean, there were some girls who were, like, real good. I'll talk about one incident later that really bugged me. But for the most part, I found it really endearing just to see everybody's enthusiasm and excitement. That was really fun. So at 10 o'clock, we all started to stand up, and we knew that it would take a while for them to get to us because literally the entire line has to walk through and up to the front of the venue where you get the wristbands. So it didn't move that slowly. Like, it was fairly fast. I don't know exactly what time we got our wristbands. It was probably around 10:45 or 11, something like that. Okay, so this is my wristband. So yeah, I was number 631, and there was about 1,500 tickets for the general. We were like about halfway into the line. At that point, it was about 11, and a lot of the girls in our group were like hardcore about the merch line. They wanted to go and get in it right away. Me and one of the other girls, we also had to check in to the sound check. And so the way that they had it set up was that you get your wristband at 10 for general standing, and then you also get your wristband for sound check at 10. Which kind of makes sense. It made it so that there wasn't really a line at sound check at all, because people were just going straight from general to sound check and getting their wristband. But it was a little bit like, I don't know. I guess it prevented mass chaos in some ways. We went over to the sound check line, and that was like the moment of like, are they going to let me in? Did I actually get the ticket? And I had to show them my ticket and my ID, and they're like, yeah, Okay, and then I got my sound tech band, and I was number 186 for that. There were a lot of extremes with this experience, so um, there was a lot of pain, but there was also a lot of joy, and I think this is that kind of experience where you just can't have all of the joy without some of the pain. It was a lot. Like, it was an experience.